Hi guys, it's Zoe here again. And today I'm going to be doing a build of the Colosseum. I'm going to try my best to make it close. There are some things which I've, not made it the same to make it fit in The Sims, but the inspiration from this actually came from me not knowing what to build and looking up on Google, doing a Google search of famous buildings. Very imaginative, I know. But when I saw the Colosseum, I thought, hang on a second, I can do this, and I've been there. I know what it looks like on the inside, and I remember it really clearly. And I got really, really excited. I started drawing out plans and all that kind of stuff to get, like the circles right. I actually looked up Minecraft circles to give me sort of a guide to help me draw the pattern. But you'll notice when I'm building this, a lot of this is very repetitive, and so what I've done to save you guys the effort of watching me do the same stuff over and over and over again is that I've cut out bits where I've repeated. So in a second, as I said it now, I cut out the other quarter which I did there, and also the bottom floor which you've seen before. So this bit was a little bit different because I was doing, I guess, the gradient, the diagonal part where the Colosseum has actually broken away over the years. A lot of things happened to it. There was earthquakes and also stone robbers, things like that. So it's not in the condition that it once was. I debated on whether putting it like it originally would have been or doing it as it is now, but I thought it would be more recognisable if it is like it is now. To get the diagonal, I'd actually practiced this beforehand, and I'd sized up these knife blocks to get the diagonal, and it's the perfect colour. You can see the black bits a little bit, but we don't actually use that top floor. And I tried to get it in the second floor, but the shadow from the inside kept colouring it, so it was a really dark colour, which was annoying because otherwise that would have worked really well. But anyway, we're going on with the build now. The original has 4 floors, so it has 3 floors with the arches, and then the 1 floor at the top which is kind of broken away and is a lot thinner. And I decided, because I wanted to keep it, the scale of it, obviously it's a much smaller, it's a slight oval, so it's not symmetrical, it's slightly oval, because I wanted to, make it look like the original. In The Sims, it needed to be smaller, and that meant in height as well. So I cut out one of the floors, but I still think it works. But yeah, this is me just going around the top. I actually make these a little bit taller because I think it looks a little bit better and more like the original. But yeah, I also had to move these knife blocks in because they were cutting onto the outer edge there on that little wall, which was annoying because now you can see the knife block on the inside of the building, but I don't mind if you guys don't mind. I doesn't really bother me. It's a small thing. I think that the idea of getting the diagonal is more important, personally. These little loops that I've put in, they're actually supposed to sort of, I guess, symbolise where there are holes in the stone. And originally there would have been beams going through those holes as support, so that, now we've just got the stone structure left. But originally there was seating, there was canopies, there was markets. This used to be, when it occasionally it would be used for, like gladiators and things like that, like you see in the movies, and stuff like that. But the rest of the time it was just used as a marketplace, and even when there was stuff going on, the markets would be sort of sprawling out the sides of the Colosseum, and also at one point people lived in it, you know, past the Roman times and stuff like that, and people built structures inside it, and you know, it was housing over 50,000 people, and so they needed other structures in there other than this wooden structure. So that's why it's got all the holes. It's also for pulleys and all sorts of things to get it all the way to the top. I'm just building an inner circle in here. The Colosseum does actually have 2 layers of arches, like I've done. Well, 3 walls, but 2 sections in the middle, if that makes any sense. And also it has some of the, I don't know whether it's the original roof or it's a roof that's, I guess, been refurbished, but it's got holes in it and things like that, probably to cover, you know, the maybe more wealthy people, or, you know, something like that. If you ever, I do highly recommend you go and see the Colosseum if you're ever in Rome. You look at it from the outside and you're like, wow, that's so beautiful, it's so huge and stuff like that. But then if you get inside it, it's a whole other thing. You realise how big this thing actually is, and it's mind blowing. Also, something that a lot of people miss out on is that when you buy a ticket for the Colosseum, it lasts 2 days, and that ticket also gets you into a place called, I think it's Palatine Hill, and it's these ruins that are around the Colosseum, and it's where, I guess, the Romans used to live. Well, you know, the prestigious people used to live, and you get to see Augustus, his house, like where he used to live. Augustus, I don't know if you know, he actually named the month August after himself. So you get to see where he used to live, sorry, and a whole bunch of other ruins, and also you get to go on top of a hill and you get the best view of the Colosseum from there. It's way better than if you're down in front of it, but a lot of people miss out on that, so if you're ever in Rome, definitely go and see that. But here I am, I'm just putting in windows. Also earlier while I was talking, I put the hole in the ground that shows you where they used to put the caged animals, and where the gladiators and the warriors and things like that, they used to get ready. And yeah, so it's been exposed because I guess it must have fallen through, but it has got this platform so you can go and walk out onto it. I think you can actually go down into those bits underneath, like the basement. I made it so that if you wanted, you could. I did like an underground passageway to there, because I put the toilets downstairs as well. But I left the doors out, so if you want to have it so you can go in there, then you can definitely do that. But I'm doing a little bit of landscaping now. We go back onto the main build, and then we go back to the landscaping, back to the main build, back to the landscaping. But this little section here with all the stones and the plants, that stays the same. But I slightly change the terrain paint that I've put down. I make it more textured, I put more things on it. I also make it a lot softer around the edge. We get rid of that clean edge which is there. This is me putting in a little bit more texture. When I was there, I remember we were trying to walk over these stones, and they were so, you could tell that maybe once they were flat, but they were so worn that they were completely curved and quite shiny. And when I was there, I probably almost broke my ankle from slipping and sliding on these, and you know, trying to move out the way of all these people. But that was only in some areas. Some areas it's completely flat, but in others it's really, really cobbled. And even for a European city, it's like the next level. But yeah, we're just doing some shading. I actually find these little garden pebbles that I completely forgot were in the game, sized them up, and they looked perfect because they look like flat rocks that were quite close to the ground, you know, not as big as these, but obviously there were some bits which were rocks and stuff which were ruins which have fallen down. Also this bit of, I guess, concrete that I've put in, I get rid of that originally. I think it was because I didn't think the terrain looked right, so I was, I guess, covering it up. But I saw it out in the end. We also put some little market huts, and they had things which were selling souvenirs, and they had little, coffee places where you could get food as well, and cotton candy, the general touristy stuff. So I decided to put that in, just in this corner area, and put seating and things like that. Also with this build, I've set it as a bar, but what I've done is I've put in pretty much all of the objects that you need for a retail store or a lounge as well. And I was thinking that I kind of wanted to make it a lounge so that you would get live performers, because I put a piano and a microphone, a violin and a guitar in the center of the Coliseum. But I didn't want to keep it as a lounge, because I don't know whether you guys have noticed this, but in The Sims, when you've got a lounge lot, the only people that turn up are old people. And nothing against old people, I just wanted it to be, more diverse. But if you did want live performers there all the time, definitely change it to a lounge lot, because then you'll get the hired performers there. But yeah, so we're going on to the souvenir little stall, and through this I was just trying to find just random things that, oh, that's when I came across the little pebbles, and I'm probably gonna put out a whole load, or at least I'll do it later. But I just find random items that might pass as souvenirs or souvenir stands. It looks a bit funny to start with when I just put the objects out, but in the end I put up posters and clothes, and I put a cash register back there and things like that, and it kind of pulls it all together at the end. But to begin with, it really doesn't look that great, as you can see right now. This is also something that you can take out really easily if you don't want it. Or what I'm probably going to do is, when this new game pack comes out, get together. Who else is really excited? I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. But when that comes out, I'm probably going to upload this again to the gallery as a cafe, and see how I can convert this into a cafe then. But I might put a little cafe bit out there. I might change it and put the cafe inside. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have a look at the game. It'd be awesome if I could get some little cheat objects and see whether I can put some of the ruins in the lot as well, because that would be awesome. But I don't think, I'll have to see how much content I get with the new, we get with a new pack, and see whether it's worth doing another video about it, but I doubt it will. When that happens though, I'll come back to this video and put a link to, or a post that's saying that the cafe version of this lot is up. But yeah, so we're putting in the bar here, and I'm going to be putting in some stools and things like that. The tables that I end up picking have like this, like a covering over them. And when I was in Italy, any table in any cafe, any restaurant, anything had basically these exact covers on them. Every single one. So I thought it needs to be in there for it to be, Italian. I also put on some little condiments to start with, because quite often in Italy, when you go to a restaurant and you start off your food, it's quite common in quite a lot of Latin places actually, that they have oil and vinegar, so that when they bring out the bread, you can mix some oil and vinegar together and have that with your bread, as sort of like a little starter thing. But I take them off in the end because I think it looks a bit sort of classier altogether. And a little bit more simple. I think it was overdone, but also it made it, when I took it off, it looked more like a bar or somewhere where you'd hang out rather than a restaurant. So yeah, and we're just going over with some lighting here. I'd done the lighting off screen as well, but I was just finishing off little bits. I also go in to get some debug ones, because I was really struggling to find some bright lights that were light the stage, but wouldn't, you know, look horrible. So obviously, sorry, obviously a lot of the lights which are from on the walls or the ground, they're not as strong as the ceiling lights, but there's no ceiling there, so that's why I had to use one of those, like a couple of those debug lights. But yeah, we're going through I'm just copying and pasting some of the stuff from downstairs up onto the second floor. And I go around and do very, very similar decorations here. Here, I just skipped a bit because I did a whole load around there. Here is a little bit where I thought maybe the VIPs could stay, where they've got a fancy sofa and they've got 2 private bars all to themselves. And this is me just going over some of the bits on the corner as well. But I also put some chess tables in there, so I thought that this could be quite a good lot for the daytime as well. It doesn't have to be for the nighttime, you know? But yeah, and now we're going through with some speakers, so you'll be able to see all of the tables and stuff that I've done as we go around, because I've cut out quite a bit of it. But yeah, I didn't know, I kind of wanted to put some of the wall speakers on, but I didn't want you guys to be limited on what kind of music you wanted playing there, because I thought that maybe because this is quite a romantic lot, in my opinion, you might want romance music, but then if you want it as just a normal daytime thing, then you don't want the entire lot being flirty, you know? So I decided to just put in normal speakers that you could choose what music you wanted, if you wanted music. But yeah, and this is me just deleting some of the floor pattern, and then we're going in and adjusting the edge of the lot as well, I think, soon. But yeah, if these, I didn't personally have any trouble with them when I was collecting the screenshots. I actually got the goths to come around and have a look at this lot to take the screenshots with. But if you personally have any problems, then you can go into the build mode when you're on the lot with your Sims, and if you find that these get in the way, then just move them across or delete them completely. But I personally didn't find any trouble with them, so sorry if I miss any bits which, you know, are a bit troublesome or stop you from getting anywhere, but like I said, I didn't find any problem with it. But yeah, here we go, just editing the edges. I also put out those barriers around the entrance because the queue for the Coliseum is colossal. Almost as colossal as the Colosseum. But yeah, it was really huge, well worth it. And the queue it's really long, but actually goes it travels quite quickly, so it looks incredibly daunting, but you won't be in there as long as you think you would be. But yeah, I'm just adding in some last little bits. By this point, I thought I'd finished, but then I realised, hang on a second, I can't save this game as a bar because there's no toilet. So then I have to edit this bit here, build a little basement, and make it into the toilet. But yeah, they're simple toilets. They're really not that fantastic. They're not stunning, you know. I just wanted to put basic toilets. It is a retail lot, and also it is in a public place with and it had to be made, you know, from the ruins, so I didn't think they would be mega fancy. I did only put 4 toilets in there because that's all your Sims would need, but if this was the real thing, we'd probably need a lot more toilets than that. I don't know actually if there were toilets. I can't really remember. There must have been, but I didn't go to the toilet while I was there, so I was okay. But yeah, I think actually you have to buy a premium ticket if you are allowed to go downstairs, and it's only at certain times of the year. So if you do want to do that, and it's like a special guided tour, so I think you have to look that up. But I personally didn't go on it, but it was really, really awesome when I did go. I got some awesome pictures as well. But yeah, I think we're coming to the end now. So thank you very, very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And subscribe for new updates, and hopefully see you again soon. Okay, bye.